What is the best quality you've observed in others that you strive for in yourself?
Love. I'll just leave it at that. I feel love is the answer, and that's a quality, it's an experience. I think that's part of life. So for me, love is what I see in others that feels really warm and welcoming, and I strive to do that myself because love can be scary. And leaning into that more is just what keeps bringing acceptance and the richness of life. You know, you can wash the dishes, or you can learn how to love how to wash the dishes, and life just hits different. And for any person listening on how they can start to achieve more love and more bliss in their life, I invite you to be more intentional. Intention is what gives us purpose in everything that we do. It's like blinders on a horse. So ask yourself with anything that you do, drinking a coffee, selling the next biggest product, what is my intention? And now bring you to purpose, and through purpose you discover closer of who you are, and embrace and activate deeper sense of love for everything. So I say love.
Welcome back, welcome home to the Your Podcast, episode 208. Shout out to Anytime Actors Lab. If you're looking to act, if you're looking to any level, if you're starting out, you don't know where to start, anytimeactorslab.com. It's the best way, I can't even think right now. That's crazy. Adam Lauder out in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area, he knows about acting, and he's been doing it for a long time. And he's doing online consultation. It's a free class and in-person classes, anytimeactorslab.com. Shout out to the patrons, patreon.com/YouAreHerePodcast. The best way to support us, it's as simple as a little amount as a coffee. If you like what we do, it's the best place to do it.
That's right.
And we're also on Twitch, twitch.tv/YouAreHerePodcast. We're gaming, we're reacting to stuff, we're taking input from people. If you want to talk to us more than just the podcast, head over there on twitch.tv/YouAreHerePodcast. And dude, I feel grounded.
We got
very grounded.
Dude, thank you guys for liking and subscribing, and we see you guys growing the podcast slowly. I'm so grateful right now.
Yeah, me too.
So I just want to say thank you to you guys for real. We appreciate it. And we see you. Man.
Yeah.
This is a strange way to start a podcast, but we just did a little exercise.
Yeah.
Call it breath work.
Yeah.
Didn't know nothing about it before this.
Me either.
Got a little taste.
Yeah.
I'm feeling...
By the wonderful.
Well, let me introduce it.
Okay. I don't want to step on your feet and toes here.
Don't do it.
Okay. Go ahead.
This is the first person we've had on the podcast that we've met through our job.
Yeah. That's
in
true.
a weird cosmic way. Not weird, Customer first, now friend, now podcast
Guest.
Guest.
Yeah, that's the word. Oh my.
You guys want to do another round?
Voy.
I think we just sent you guys off. We gotta come back.
Dude.
We gotta bring you guys back.
We got Voy here today. Voy, welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for having me. Really excited to be here jamming with you guys and just having a good time.
Dude, we're excited to have you on, man. We've been trying to make this happen for a minute.
All right, we have to explain what we did because it looks like we just did like acid or something.
Your face is so red.
Okay, so before we started,
oh man.
Boy, what would you call
what we just did?
What you do?
Well, what we just did.
Let's start there.
Okay.
And then we'll get into it.
Cool. What we just did was breath work.
Okay.
And breath work is an ancient technique. It's been around for thousands of years. And quite frankly, we do it every day because if we didn't, we wouldn't be alive. Now, the big game changer here is just being more intentional with the breath. So we bring our focus to the breath, get intentional, and practice specific patterns. Why do we do this? So we can change how we think and we feel.
I love it.
We did that. We did that. We only did 10 minutes, one round.
Yeah.
Not
10 minutes.
30 breaths.
We did 30 breaths.
That's it.
That's such a crazy thing.
Because we're walking around breathing every day.
Yeah.
But we're breathing. I'm not conscious of how I'm breathing.
Me either, ever. And you know what? I am conscious because I was going to bring it up. I feel like sometimes breathing is a thing I realize I don't do like maybe well. Like not in like a good way. Cause whenever I have like nerves or something, like I notice like when I'm like in my brain. And then I was like, oh man, like
I'm breathing.
From my chest being tight, I'm like, I can't even like function sometimes.
Yeah.
I can't even breathe like fully. And that, what I noticed, like opened up like a lot, like a lot of space, I think, you know?
Yeah.
It feels good. Like I feel good now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Beautifully said, bro. You're spot on.
Any nerve that I had, like a little tiny bit, it's always something before I press record, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't feel anything right now.
Yeah.
And it's weird.
Wow. You're very present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, man. And you have a beautiful point, bro, because you're not the only one that says that. I've been there too. I know your experience. I came from a background where I had like crippling anxiety, where I couldn't speak in public. I couldn't speak in person. I would have to leave class. Long story. Coming back to your point, if you ever notice a baby when it comes out and just looking at a baby breathe, it's full belly. It's the diaphragm expansion. Of course, we breathe into the lungs, but you notice it's here.
Yeah.
Right. And what you said is when we get anxiety, bro, it all comes up into here.
Yeah. Yep.
The chest starts going faster and faster, and it's hard to like get grounded because my breath is so quick. So shifting the breath with intention, just to breathing how we naturally breathe, automatically shifts our state and how we think, how we feel, and how we take action. So without a doubt, I always say if you can control your breath, you can control your life. Because everything starts from the breath. Any emotion, any feeling, any desire, everything traces back to the breath.
Shit.
So you practice breath work, bro. You practice mastery of life.
I could see completely how it, relates. Like 100%. Like I could feel like I could do anything like right now. Like I really did.
Imagine like working out
good.
from that place, like breathing in your belly. And
Dude, you know what we're doing before boxing?
What?
We're
Breath
doing
work?
this. And we're going in and we're going to fight each other.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going to
I feel like
happen.
I could see everything. Like I could see what you're gonna do before you do it. I feel like I can see 2 steps ahead already. Man.
Dave, I want you to go through what you felt. Like how you felt it, like when you were going through it.
I kind of wish I took you guys through 2 more rounds.
Yeah.
One of you guys would have dropped.
I was dropping. I felt my head like that's what I felt.
I kind of checked in. I was like, yo, let me put my hands here real quick because the homie's about to go down.
I felt my face just totally became tingly.
Me too.
And I felt my head heavy and like kind of like bobbling a little and like giggles started to come out and like the breath became easier to take in and let go.
Yeah.
But that's what was weird. It's like when you drink. Like I felt like I was drinking. I've never done DMT. I never did drugs. I never did anything like. But drinking, I get numb in the face and like.
Yeah.
But it was a clearer. That it was a quicker that it
You're
was
still like in control.
Yeah, and I feel like right after, like when we opened our eyes, I was like, I just like I could see better. So that's scary. Like I'm walking around breathing. I'm not breathing full breaths, and I'm not. And what am I doing to my brain? What is my brain missing?
And think about the cells, right? Cells needs oxygen to produce, to heal, to grow, to everything, dispose, detox. So on a cellular level, if we're not getting the right amount of oxygen, the body's not performing at the highest level. Look at athletes, professional athletes. Look at singers. Look at like martial artists like Bruce Lee, UFC. Everybody knows how to control the breath.
Right.
Because that's when you can be clear and hit him with that, as opposed to coming out of fear and be like, oh shit, I think he's gonna hit me.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, nah, I got this. You know?
Right.
Bruce Lee.
Right.
When he would kick and fight, it was just full on presence.
Yeah,
Total presence. And then when he's ready to strike, unleashed and came back. You know? So
come on, man.
this is ancient wisdom that's been around for thousands of years. Wow. However, sometimes it can be so simple that people disregard it.
Yeah.
Just breathing. Or looking at society and how we need things outside of ourselves, like pharmaceuticals, specific food and drugs to help us come back to who we are. It's not the case. Only you know your truth. Only I know my truth. So using tools that are already gifted to me, like breath, helps me come back to who I am. And from fucking then on, bro, it's just ease and flow and inspired action. That's freedom.
This is interesting to me. You're saying come back to who we are. So do you believe that
Yes.
every one of us, yes, that we're born as who we are, and then for some reason or another we get taken away from who we are, and then our job should be to find who we are again?
Yeah, it's purpose.
That's purpose.
That's what I feel for me is purpose, is to constantly grow and evolve to the person that I am. And from then on, I can be of service from a place of trust and love, as opposed to fear and thinking I need to help somebody because if I don't, I won't be loved. Now, coming back to your point, right? Speaking about the law of emergence, if you look at an acorn, it has all the DNA and all the genetic coding and mapping that when you put it into the soil and you give it the right external forces, it grows into a fucking big ass oak tree. But you don't tell the acorn like, yo, homie, you gotta grow. It's like that. You just put it in and he does his thing, or it or she, right? It's the same with us. It's in our DNA.
Yeah.
It's got like a blueprint, right?
Exactly. To greatness. We all have greatness instilled, all of us, which is why life is a mirror to reveal what's not ours so we can come back to self. Because as a baby, we're fresh, we're natural, we're ready to just take on.
Yeah.
So the bullshit that our parents gave us and the good shit we take on. Friends, society, and then we mold into this like weird being.
Chest breathing, nose clogged. Fucking.
So from then on, it's like we just chip away what's not ours. And from that out reveals the person who we already are.
Dude, I rock with this.
I got a story real quick just to drive the point home. Can I share?
Yeah, please, man.
Are you familiar with Michelangelo?
Yeah.
So
that
one too.
Come on, man.
Michelangelo, he's a Renaissance era artist. And he essentially was tasked with the job to create the statue of David. And he got this big marble that was already there. An artist didn't want to do it because it was chipped. And he's like, yeah, I'll take this on. Then like a news reporter comes by, whatever you called it back in the day. I don't know. Whatever.
Town crier.
Yeah. Basically.
Town crier. Right.
That would be Dave.
That'd be me.
Sorry.
Crying.
No, you're good, man.
Good.
So the town crier,
I don't know.
he'd walk up to Michelangelo and he said, Michelangelo, how are you going to create a masterpiece from this marble and it's cracked? And he looks at him and he goes, it's easy. I'm just going to remove all the shit that's not David and out will come the masterpiece. Right? So that's how I like to look at this work in my life is like, I'm just removing all the gunk and the shit that's no longer me so I can show up with who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
And that's freedom.
Yeah.
Dude,
does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
It makes a lot of sense.
I'm gonna hit the brakes.
Yeah.
I'm hitting the on the pod. All right, guys? Watch your necks. Everyone calm down. Put your seatbelts on. I'm gonna start from the beginning.
All right.
We meet you at a time in your life. I mean, you're a wealth of knowledge. You have this whole everything you just dropped. It's coming from a real source. It seems like, and you're very educated on it. And I'm just curious, like, who was Voy before I met Voy? Like, how did you get to this point where you feel like you can help others with what you've learned and what you've taken on for yourself and like the chipping away to find out who you are? Like, who were you before? And then where'd you get lost? Like, that's what I'm really curious about. Because I don't know.
Lost in?
I guess in life. Like,
yeah, was there a
how did
point where
Voy get
you
lost?
felt like you had to change everything or?
Many points like that. Yeah.
I'm just curious, man.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you for asking, first and
dude.
foremost. I'll start with this because this plays an important role to why I got here.
Yeah.
And to paint you a picture, I grew up in Poland in a village, 5 homes.
Oh, I had a feeling that you were Polish.
Yeah.
I did have a feeling.
Let's get it,
I
bro.
really did.
Nice, man. Grew up in the village in Poland, village of the wolves. It was more like out on the outskirts. And the reason why I bring that up is because when I came to the U.S. at the age of 8, that shit really fucked me up. And I didn't realize that until I looked into that. But that moment was a big shift in my whole perception of life, what I thought, and how I was developing as a child. Because during that stage in life, it's like, we want to start finding who we are.
Yeah.
So when I came, I went from the forest to airplanes and people and the city and cement. And I was just like, whoa, I don't speak the language. My parents are going through a lot of shit. My sister was killed in an accident. So we had to leave the country because it was bringing up so much like guilt and pain for the whole family. So it was almost like an escape. My dad had problems with alcohol too. So it was just a lot of anxiety in the family and just pain and trauma that they didn't have the tools to resolve. So imagine me being in that environment as the acorn, they're feeling anxiety and guilt and pain. That's what I'm picking up. And then I have to feel that I need to be this way to feel loved. Now I'm in a different country and I'm like, oh shit. I don't know how to express. I don't know how to feel my emotions. And I don't know who the fuck I am. So let me just go inward and play this kind of role of protecting myself. Mm-hmm. And all that did was just stack up so much anxiety in my life that I was doing things alone. Felt like a lone wolf. I couldn't express myself. When I used to sit in class, bro, just to paint a picture, if I knew the teacher was going to call on me for whatever it was, even if I knew the answer, my body would just go into a state of shock and freeze. And I would like be like, holy shit, if she picks on me, like I'm going to die.
Wow. Dude,
every day like that in school. Imagine that. Just feeling like I'm trapped. Yeah. And there was a point where I was just like so upset because I couldn't fucking figure it out. I'd look at like Tony Robbins and like all these figures and I'm like, wow, they got gifted with this expression, this being, this power. Like, what the fuck, man? And there was a pivotal moment, and I'll close it up here, where in a 2-week time frame at the age of 19, I bought a Subaru WRX, which I worked mad hard for, a dream car.
Where'd you work?
I worked at a catering hall.
Right on.
Wedding catering hall. I don't want to drop the name. And worked my ass off to get this whip, sexy. I'm the ball, 19 years old. Like, yo, I'm about to have this whip, pick up the shorties. Yo, it's good. Had the STI swap on it too with the wing. And I was like, yo, this is it. It's the Polish in us, bro.
I know. Why do you know?
That's what it was.
That's what it was. I got you.
It's just a code, unspoken code.
Got you.
It's in the DNA.
Got you. Right on.
So I get this whip, have it for a month. I'm dating this woman, first girlfriend, and I got my homie who's I'm really close friends with. And in that 2-week time frame, I remember going to this place, my car gets stolen.
What?
Crushed me.
Oh.
Crushed me. Just a month after, crushed me.
Because that's everything to you, right?
Everything, right? Attachment fully to this object. Within a week time frame, the girl I was dating, first love, dips and leaves me for her ex. Crushed, right? 2-week time frame. The next day, one of my homies calls me on the phone, and he's like, he's going through a lot too. And he goes, bro, I just went into my sister's cabinet. I took all the medication. He's like, I love you. And I'm like, yo. Thankfully, I drove that night, got him. He threw some of that shit out, and we spent like a month together in a place of just like the lowest point in my life.
Wow.
And I remember being there in the basement, ironically, of the house at my lowest fucking point, and being there in the room by myself, just feeling this heaviness, this pressure. And I'm like, yo, why can't I just fucking get this off me? And I felt like this big like release come through, and the energy just moved, and I just started pounding the fucking floor. Pounding, like to the point where my bones were just, I almost like shattered my hands because I was just going and crying and screaming, all of that just releasing. Pass out. Woke up, I don't know how long later, and I'm laying there on the floor, and I was just like, yo, I don't ever want to feel like that ever again. I was like, what do I need to do? No clue what to do. For some reason, long story short, somebody invited me to read a book. I read one book that opened my mind to another thing and another thing, and I started slowly to gain the confidence and realize that I can actually heal all of this and not feel this way if I truly lean the fuck in. I went to doctors. They said anxiety's through the roof. Here's medication. I was like, fuck, something doesn't feel good about that. I'm gonna push this aside. Started looking into meditation, came across breath work. My life started to make a pivot. Long story short, I worked in corporate, doing sales, making hella money, wasn't fulfilled, got disrespected a few times. And I was like, you know what? I checked in. I was like, does this align with my truth? I was like, this ain't fucking it.
So it ain't money.
It wasn't even the money. Yeah, it was just the experience of like the environment and what I'm feeling fulfilled by. So I quit. And I started to travel the world and find my truth. And that's how I got here today, to just living in purpose, feeling fulfilled, and feeling like I'm creating the life that I love. And that's by supporting men, really all people. However, for this moment, men, because they resonate most, about how to really improve their well-being and discover a true state of freedom. where we can create a life without limits. Because the only limits we have is the ones we set on ourselves. Freedom is an inside job.
When was the moment where you like started taking like another person and trying to like help another person? Because I feel like we talked about this on the last podcast, is like a lot of the root of a lot of problems we have with others or even with ourselves is like the ego. You know?
Oh yeah.
Like sometimes, like especially in those dark moments, it's like, what? Like sometimes we even say it about the podcast, like, what are we gonna say that's gonna help someone, or what can we do? You know what I mean? But really, you have the potential to help like everyone. You know, so many people, and there's a lot of worth in that.
Totally.
You know, so like, what's the point where you experienced these things, and where you wanted to share it with other people?
That's a deep question. I honestly, at the moment, can't pinpoint the exact moment where I felt like that was the first person. I do feel it's innate in all of us, especially men, to be of service. Service is a key trait of masculinity, to give. So I feel all of us already have that innately. It makes us feel good to be of service, to help. So even as kids, you see kids, you don't teach a kid, oh, you have to help him. Like sometimes the kid goes and it picks it up or gives it a hug, right? Like there's intimacy, there's connection, there's giving and receiving. So I feel like that's innate. However, the time that really shifted for me when I was working in corporate, and I'm working at the cybersecurity firm, sales department one side, marketing on the other. And when I came in there fresh out of college, all this anxiety still, I was like, fuck, man, I really have to challenge myself, find my edge, and lean into the thing that's scariest the most, which is connection with people. I was like, fuck, man. But I was like, fuck it. If I really want to change, I got to lean in. Right.
Yeah.
So I went in and I was like, I'm going to meet everybody there. And I did. And there was one guy in the whole company that I was just like, man, I just don't resonate with this guy. Like I can't connect with him. One guy. And the reason for that is, and I'll share this in a moment, is that he was just fucking dope. And I was intimidated by his dopeness because a part of me realized that greatness is within myself, but I wasn't willing to accept it because I was afraid of being great. Whoa. And here's this man that's reflecting greatness, and I'm like, I don't like this guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Swaggy, had the turtleneck. I was the only one as well to ride a turtleneck, so I was like, there's something about this guy. It could be the fucking turtleneck. So one day we walk into the cafe, right? He's making a coffee and we start jamming out, and he goes, yo, bro, I'm starting a book club. Would you be down? I was like, fuck, nobody here reads books except me. I'm about it. Well, people did, but they just weren't like resonating, especially men, on books. So I was like, all right, he's moving different. It's like, yeah, I'm about it. So he invites me to his house. I show up. I open the door, get to his apartment. There's 2 chairs in the middle of the living room. And I'm like, this is odd. I thought this was like a book club. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's not a book duo. What's up? And he goes, bro, I invited all my homies, and you're the only one that showed up.
Wow.
And I was like, all right. And he's like, what do you if you want, you can go home. And I was like, let's rock with it.
Yeah.
So we dropped in. We read a book. The book we read was How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yeah.
And we talked about it for 10 minutes. What truly we wanted to lean into, what he was inviting me to, is a deeper conversation about the real shit. Like, yo, what's going on in your world? Like, what you feeling, what you experiencing? Like, this is an opportunity to be seen in my unapologetic truth. And the feeling you guys describe about breathwork is that feeling times like 20 when I walked the fuck out of that room and I was to my homie Jose like, bro, whatever we just did here, we got to do this again. Long story short, one thing led to the next. Him and I became co-founders, and we founded Modern Renaissance Man.
That's the homie.
Yeah.
That I met.
Jose Alejandro, yeah. He came from Puerto Rico.
Wow.
That's the homie. That's my soul brother.
Wow.
He's the one that was one of the first men to ever truly see me for who I am and help me express myself without judgment. Because sometimes when I would share in circles with the old homies, somebody would roast me or say some shit or level me up. And I'm like, man, like, I feel like I just can't be myself because I have to compete. So that was the first moment like I received and also supported another man in like an intentional way. And that just kept expanding to where we are now, you know? So to answer your question,
Yeah,
I'd
I
say
think
that was
that's
a
where it started,
pivotal
yeah.
moment where like my path in life shifted. Because before that, I was working on creating and building, I built it, a clothing brand where we bridge fitness and mindfulness and put it together. So we were building a lifestyle brand around mindfulness and really optimizing mind, body, and soul, and using clothing as a brand, as the foundation, to show like, yo, you could be swaggy as fuck and also be dropped in and clear and grounded and speak your truth. And that was going well, and we were creating that. And then I was just like, man, whatever I felt here, it's like, it just keeps pulling me here. And I had to make that decision. It's like, do we continue here or do I go here? And the universe just aligned it in a way where it was like, the path is clear. Lean in. I was like, yo, spirit, I got your call and I'm accepting it right now. I see you later. Now we here.
Well, I guess you said, the modern Renaissance man. Like, can you explain the pack? Like, what is the package you do? You know what I mean? Like, what are you offering people? You know, because you did the breathwork with us, and I think is that one thing you do.
That's just a tool.
Yeah.
And we use many tools. I use many tools to get us back to the same place. And
I guess what I was trying to say is when someone reaches out to you,
Yeah.
what do you offer them?
So Modern Renaissance Man is a lifestyle brand and community. It's a community of like-minded men who are really trying to raise the standard for themselves, for their community and the world. Now, what Jose and I saw was there was a gap in the men's lifestyle and men's well-being space. Like I can go to the homies and smoke a cigar, and I wasn't receiving fully all the things I needed to really like level up and deal with some of the things I'm dealing as an entrepreneur, as a lover, as a man, as a son. Then you can go to other spaces in the well-being where they gave you that, but it wasn't like dope. It was like men sitting in a circle and talking about shit. And I'm like, that's not it. I want some dope shit. Like I want to hang out with the homies that are dope, and we talk about wealth and we talk about love and we talk about building. So what the idea was is like, let's bridge the gap. So through coaching, leadership training, embodiment tools, and just a refreshing vibe of like a lifestyle brand, we really support men and create a space so they can unapologetically be in their truth and really own their fucking power. So imagine a bunch of homies just doing dope ass work to get closer to who they are, so they can create the life that they love, not what society or parents or businesses or the media want them to think. It's what I desire. And we give them the tools so you become like a Swiss Army knife. Because that's what a modern Renaissance man is.
Got you.
Love it.
Long story short.
It's like a pinpoint men's therapy. I like it.
Yeah, but it's like
Therapy is just
a community.
It's a tool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even call it therapy. We're not like, it's not that.
Okay.
So I would
community.
yeah, it's a community of like-minded men
Yeah.
who want to just level the fuck up in all areas of their life, not just one. And,
Dude.
you know,
What's in your opinion, like what makes a good man?
what makes a good man?
Yeah, like what is a good man? Like what would be a good man?
Well, what's good, right? I guess everybody has their own perception of what's right and what's wrong. I think for me, and what feels good for me and the standards that I decided upon for myself, is that I feel as a man, it needs to be somebody that realizes integrity is everything. That's key number one. Right? Integrity is everything. Word is bond, being honest in my actions and decisions, and just having energetic wholeness in my mind, body, and spirit. And realizing that no man can be in integrity 100% of the time.
Yeah.
So also realizing that and taking ownership and responsibility of your life and your mistakes. So I would say that's the first thing about being a good man. I think another piece is really understanding that we get to lead from the heart, right? So love deeply, realize that love is the answer, especially as a man, and constantly discern, am I making choices from fear and ego, or am I choosing from love? And love always wins, right? Another key that's just coming through is be dangerous, but not a danger. I think as a man, it's our responsibility to take our bodies to an extreme level and really utilize this vessel and also know that we can defend if need be. So it's almost like I ain't a killer, but don't push me, right? You've heard that saying, right? And it's not to use it like a samurai. He can whip out the sword and cut you into slices.
That's right.
But he's intentional with it. He doesn't go around swinging it. It's the last resort.
Yep.
So as a man, being dangerous, but not a danger, right? I can walk in here and like, you know, protect if need be.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do anything right now because I'm here showing up with an open heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
So those three things really come up.
I like those.
About being a good man.
I like those.
Yeah, and I'll stop there for now.
Yeah. I mean, the last one reminds me of meekness. Like the meek shall inherit the earth was written in the Bible. And you know, I picked up on that. And I went to my friend. And I was like, what the hell is this? Meekness. Like, what? I don't want to be weak. Like, how the weak are going to inherit everything? Like, why? Why would that be the case? No. Meek. The meek.
Like Meek Mill.
Meekness, like Meek Mill. Meek.
That's what I said.
The meek is exactly what you're saying. It's like having a sword and it's perfectly cut and you know how to wield it. You've trained with, you know, for years and it's seethed in your whatever, your little thing, your holster for it. But you're not pulling it out. You're not just like, hey, I don't like you, you know, and cutting somebody. But you know it's there.
Yeah.
And that's for the betterment of you and the people you care about and the people around you to protect instead of like hurt. So it's meekness. It's like power that is not thrown around, thrown about, but it's there.
Yeah.
So I get that. I mess with that. That's what boxing was for me when I started. It was kind of like, it was this instinct to do it for acting, but it was also like, I don't know. I always had a fear. Like I walk into a room and I'm a big guy and people some guys, I feel like animosity from. You walk into a bar and with your girl or whatever, and it's just I catch, and it might be in my mind, and there's a lot there, but I always felt like, what's going to happen? What I don't know what to do. You know, it's I'll get them if I needed to, but I don't know what to do. Not really. I don't know how to control my body like that. I don't know. So that's what it was for me. I think in the beginning it was like I want to have something that I do know. I feel strength. I feel technique. I feel control over my limbs and my weight and my movement. And so I mess with that a lot, dude. Also loving from the heart. I mess with that a lot. Yeah. Big heart. Like I think that's where, and I want to go back kind of like for you too. Like growing up as a man, like a young boy, we're all going through that phase of life where we're like, starting to like other people and our parents are doing crazy shit and we don't really know what to do about it. So we're shelling up or we're trying to mold ourselves into who they want us to be or who our friends want us to be or whatever. And you can't, or I felt I couldn't be honest with my best friends. Yeah. I couldn't quite express like when I was sad about my family or unsure about like how to talk to a girl, how to just express myself. Yeah. You know, how to not do the thing they want me to do. Like I felt no freedom in expression. And I think most men do. And if we look at the stats, I think I talked to you about this before. We talked about it briefly, but like you pull up the stats on suicide, it's not even close. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was like 2 years ago, pre-COVID, like 70% of all suicides are men, which is crazy.
But that's saying something. And you know, not to discount what women are going through too, and other people, but like that's a big percentage. Yeah. And if we're all struggling through this process, like if we trace it back, what is it? You know, what are women doing more effectively than men are? It's like more than likely they're emotionally expressing themselves at an earlier age in a healthier way. And we're kind of shelling up. So I'm all for this, like leading, and it takes, I think, the adults, the men who are going to talk to the young boys now, which, you know, I was taught not to cry. My dad told me not to cry. Always don't cry. You know, said this many times, but like, don't cry. Stop crying. Don't do it. And it's like, you know, okay, I'll listen. I love you. You got it. That's a man.
And even as you say that it's something you experienced growing up, that because you haven't dealt with it, that leaks all the way into now. You know what I mean? Totally. It's not like you just, when you move out, it's gone. No. You know what I mean? That's attached to you forever.
Yeah. Yeah. And it takes real work, I think, to break that down. And that's kind of what I think part of what you're offering is like to help a man find himself is to help you find that child that came out that womb. Like that's who you are, the source, the thing that you were birthed as is like an emotional, screaming, you know, present, fun-loving, full-hearted being, you know? So I get it. And man, I just wonder for your life, like you kind of expressed that, but like how often do you see a man like come to you and he's like, I just can't, I feel like I can't feel nothing, or I feel like I don't know how to speak. I don't know how to, I'm afraid to express myself. Like how often do you see that in life with the people you're dealing with?
Yeah, I look in the mirror with the man in the mirror and I still get that sometimes.
Me too.
You know, it's a constant. And the fact that it's a constant, I realize it's a never ending game, which is awesome because I always get to grow. Right. So looking at it from that perspective, to your point, I think most men don't even realize that is the case. Feeling and expression is typically like the result. Right. What I see in most men, and I work with entrepreneurs and creatives and just men on a mission, I see that they have a vision, they have a mission, and they want to get there. However, they feel roadblocks or they feel like they're not getting there fast enough. And typically, it's because they're choosing a lot of their decisions from a place of ego as opposed to what's truly aligned for them. And when you're in alignment with what you do, you move different, you think different, you're in a state of flow, right? So I would say all men, don't want to claim it for all, I'll say most men experience at some point in their life like not expressing fully who they are, not speaking their truth, not sharing their emotions, or being able to how to manage them, regulate them. So I see it all the time.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing because we get to create a new paradigm. We get to show up as this next wave, and this next wave of leadership is what's needed. So
that feels like some G shit, like some purpose, you know? That feels like that's the kind of like shit I want to leave behind. It's like if I have a son, look in his eyes and just be like, hey, cry. Like it's okay to cry. You don't have to cry at everything, but if you feel it, cry. Yeah. You know, it's not a weapon, but it's a tool.
It's a tool because then you get to connect mind and body.
Yeah.
And realize what I'm thinking here is now experienced in the body as well.
Yeah.
This is how it feels. And I have the freedom to express. Great. Now I get to choose when I get to express it. So I'm going to understand how to manage it. Here's what I mean. You're going out for a big deal or you're closing a big sale. It gets emotional sometimes when it's big money on the line and you really want to help somebody, but maybe they don't see your point. Stress, anxiety, all of that. So being able to express and practice that training, like going to the fucking gym, we get to be in those challenging situations and navigate that with more ease. Right? It's mastery. Mastery of the self equals mastery of your reality.
Man.
One thing that
No, go ahead.
Right after the breathwork thing, I instantly thought of the, you know what a lot of, I think like roadblocks, especially for men is like looking weird or accepting to do the breathwork thing. Like if I thought about it, you know, when I was a kid, I'd be like, that's silly, you know, sit here and breathe for 5 minutes. But I think I don't know, when you sat down, the environment I felt good. I felt like, you know what? I was like, fuck it. Like, why not? Let's just do it. You know? Someone to try something you'd have no clue about. You know? How about you just try it? You know? And it brought me somewhere cool. You know? I feel like there's a lot of roadblocks where it's like, I'm going to look weird. I'm going to look dumb. I'm going to look stupid. There's like the fears, you know? And I don't know. I feel like it's just like such a problem for men right now.
Yeah, and for you specifically, like
definitely
the feer of looking silly.
Yeah, the more I've leaned into the fear,
there it is.
The more I just
lean in.
Yeah, just it's all an illusion at some point.
Yeah, it's something you created.
Yeah,
isn't that funny?
It's weird.
I've noticed like every fear I've ever had has been my making of the fear, and then I do the thing where I'm thrown into the thing I'm most afraid of without wanting to, and on the other side I'm alive and I haven't been filleted. You know, or like lit on fire, or murdered for it, or whatever. And
been no war,
no war. Exactly. Yeah. Where's the war? My friend used to tell me that, like, where's the war? You're all nervous and anxious about this thing, but look around. Like, what's really going on? The tree's bending in the wind. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, there's not.
Yeah, I see that all the time too with people where they come to me, some of my clients, and they're like, bro, I feel so much pressure. And I'm like, let's take a moment, bro. Where's the pressure? Show me. And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, show me where the pressure's at. And they're looking around and they're like, well, I don't know. Yeah, because you're creating it in your head.
Yeah.
So let's work on that. Let's move that story out and let's come back to fact.
Yeah.
So we can get you aligned. And all I'm doing is just being a mirror and reflecting what he already knows. I'm just a guide. You know, I'm no savior. I'm no healer. I'm just a guide reflecting back your truth.
That's important, man, because
And then you get to choose what's for you.
yeah, throwing the mirror up on somebody, I think, is very effective because it's hard when because that weight's heavy on me.
What part?
Just anything. If I'm like, oh, you need to. If I feel like I don't want to do a thing. If I don't want to, let's say I was training for a fight, and the night before the fight, I'm like, I don't want to fucking do that. I'm stressed out. I'm whatever, and but it's the night before the fight. It's like nothing's happening. You're laying in bed. Maybe that's a bad example, but like
I understand. No, it's a good example.
it's just something about if I have to go see someone I don't, the issue with my father, I got to go see him. That's a weight on my head. I feel the heaviness of that, and if I'm trying to suss it out on my own, sometimes it's hard. And I go to therapy for that, and I try to work on it in my ways. But I think it's interesting that the human being, speaking for myself, struggles most with their own thoughts. It's not what's like outside that much or what's going on really outside, but it's for me like this weighted fear of like, what if I do the wrong thing? What if I shouldn't do that? What if I should do this instead? Or I don't want to do that. And if someone was just to say like a simple thing, like my therapist would just be like, so tell me, what are you afraid of? And I lay it out. It's like, okay, cool. So you're going to just do this one thing? Yeah. Well, why are you afraid of doing that? Well, because I'm afraid I'm going to look silly or it won't be reciprocated how I feel or whatever. Just talking about it immediately is lightening the weight. just doing this lightens the weight. But when I'm by myself, quiet, it's like having a calendar. If I don't have a calendar, like my wife just got this calendar, put it up on the fridge, and like I could actually, for the first time in my life, see the days of whose birthdays there are and what we have to do on this day, and it lightens the weight. Because it's not in here, me trying to suss out, what was that? My grandma's, it's the 13th. Yeah, we got to go. But she said Saturday's the birthday. This thing, for me, is the problem.
Or the solution.
Or the solution, not perspective. Now, words. How we use words is another thing. But I've noticed I'm creating the illusion of weight on myself with something I don't immediately want to do. How does that make you feel? Do you do that?
Definitely. Yeah. 100%.
And then it's just...
I was literally telling you like today, I was like, I don't want to talk to this one guy. Because I got to tell him something bad.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example.
I trust that guy wasn't me.
No.
No.
I just messing with you, bro.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But that's a perfect example. It's like you got to tell someone a hard truth.
Yeah.
And how are they going to take it? I don't know, man. I don't want to be the bearer of this thing. What if they go... You don't want to be that guy.
And even if it's not even your fault.
You didn't do anything. You didn't. It's not your thing.
Yeah.
You're the middleman.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel that.
And there's a saying, when we do want to speak our truth in a healthy way and we don't, that starts to bottle up like a tea kettle, and it gets hot. And then soon enough, if we don't know how to manage and control mastery of our emotions, that tea kettle pops in certain situations where it wasn't supposed to. Talking to, your partner, talking to the kids, talking to a teacher out in the street, it comes out, right? So really coming back to, one, embracing the experience, and two, lost the train of thought.
No, that's okay.
Receiving it back.
Yeah.
I'll come back to that.
Come back to
that. I'll bookmark that there.
I've always felt like doing this with men. Every deep conversation I've had with men, I always like feel like we're like it's just like this is what's supposed to happen.
Yeah. I mean, think about, you guys been to barbershops, right?
Yeah.
You get haircuts.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, the barber is pretty much
That's
like
it.
the first therapist that they've
That's
ever had.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Tell me now.
Yeah.
Right. When you go to the barbershop,
Yeah.
you
How's
chill with the
life?
homies.
What's going on?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's so natural in that state.
Yeah.
One, because I feel like the barber wouldn't look at us directly in the eye, so we feel like we're not seen.
That's
Yeah.
Little protection mechanism, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Thinking about that right now. And second, just somebody's really servicing you. You're allowing yourself to put the guard down. He's
Vulnerably,
yeah, he's taking care of your hair.
Yeah.
He's got a knife and shaving you. He could slice you anytime, take your life at some crazy point, right?
Yeah.
So you're really in his hands and you feel trust.
Yeah.
So when he asks some questions, you feel open more to speak.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, like this, the barbershop, those are all avenues where the homies drop in and do what we all should be doing or need to be doing. I don't want to say should.
No, it should.
Desire.
Scary. but-
Desire.
Yeah, I guess desire. But
Desire.
even walking into a barbershop and out of a barbershop,
Yeah.
everyone to the person says, "What's up? How are you, man?"
Yeah.
So even just being seen by other guys like in the shop, that's a nice thing.
Yeah.
Where you don't get every day, sometimes at your job or whatever.
Yeah.
For everyone. Dang, dude. I don't know if you can relate or you both can relate, but like, I feel like when I look back on my life, I've always been trying to find the guy I can like, he's going to take me out of here. The father figure. I have a father, but I was always looking for like the perfect father figure, the mentor, the one that I can like rocket ship out of this place and become a man and know that he's always there and all this stuff. And like, I would just like suss it out and try to find coaches. And I feel like I did that, but it was like, I'll take this from you and this from you. And you said, be a leader, not a follower. Like the drug dealer at the end of the block. So I'll remember that. And we'll play football once in a while. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I was always trying to like formulate this perfect man to like,
Like a rule to live
love
by.
me and raise me up and, be like, you're beautiful and I'm going to help you become this beautiful man now. You know what I mean? You just, with teachers, with anyone, you just grab these bits and pieces and you're like, that resonates as truth to me. So I'm going to ingest that. I'm going to remember that. And I don't know why I'm saying it, but like.
Oh, what do you think, where do you think that got you? Do you still do it?
Yeah. I think the cool thing, like I've been in meetings where like it's just a bunch of guys
Yeah.
and they're sitting down and it's just like
I think it's that, you know
meeting
what,
of principles.
I think it's that the thing where it's like your dad is supposed to teach you something,
yeah, but
Like you're supposed to learn something, like learn this from you should learn it from your dad or something like that.
That's the dirty.
It's like you're looking for certain things.
Yeah. That's like 100%. But that's like
And when you don't,
When
you're
you're a
like,
kid-
oh, you blame it on that.
right when you're a kid. That's where well, at least for me it was like that. But older you get, it's like you realize your parents aren't perfect.
Yeah.
Your parents can give you good, and they can also you may catch things that may not be
they're
good
human.
for you, and it may resonate you in certain ways. And I heard like with family, with people you look up to like that, with parents, it's like at first it starts with like idolization. It's like they're Superman, they're Superwoman, they're freaking incredible. These people they're amazing. It's all I want to be is around these people and like these people. And then you get to like this other phase of your life, which is like damnation. And it's like, nope, they weren't superheroes actually. And you know what? I don't like this and I don't like that. And this shit you did is wrong. And I see it for what it is now. You can't hide the truth from me anymore. And you're wounded from that. And then the final phase of like a relationship with parents, hopefully, is like a reconciliation of like an acceptance. Which is like, you're not perfect, but I love you for the good and the bad now. I've seen it all. I processed the emotion of what it felt like. And now I can accept you for who you are finally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
It resonated with me when I heard that.
That's freedom.
Yeah, total freedom. That's freedom. Letting go.
Yeah, and I know you brought 2 points, and I want to just speak to this.
Yeah,
you spoke
for sure.
about the father piece and how we as men sometimes tend to look at that person who can be that father figure to us. And I think in a lot of healthy spaces, powerful men at some point play that father role, so we can play that for each other, which is so powerful to be in a community and space like that, because we receive in that moment what we needed. And another thing that I've done for myself that really shifted and altered my life and my relationship with my dad and my relationship to masculinity was fathering myself.
I was going to go there.
Yeah, fathering myself and giving myself space and time and sitting in ceremony where I father the little Voy. And I write letters to him and I give him the things I needed so that my mind can realize that it's okay. I'm safe. I'm in control. I'm guided. And this father here, he's always with you. Yeah. So let's ride this journey together. And that gave me so much more confidence, trust, freedom, and the relationship with my father. It grew tremendously after that because I was looking through a lens of acceptance, forgiveness, and the things that I was wounded or didn't receive, I gave that shit back to myself. So now I'm showing up more whole. And I don't have what he says triggering me because it's all love.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean he doesn't trigger me still. He still does. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
Right. There's always room for growth. And it's just a step closer. And that, to your point, was by me fathering myself.
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah. There's such a... Do you feel like you're good at this?
What?
Taking responsibility for the life you've been given.
Okay.
You're good at this.
Really?
You don't place blame. Yeah, you're not. We've done this a million times, me and you. Well, I'll say, but this person did this, and that, and you're like, yeah, no, I get it. And you're there, and you're shouldering your friend and a brother, and then a week later, you'll be like, yeah, but like you kind of wait for me to get to the point of like processing the emotion, and then saying like, yeah, but like, you know, what can you do differently now for you? Like, how can you get up, pick yourself up now? What are you going to do about it? You've always been kind of responsible for your life, taking the responsibility of your life, I think at a young age. Yeah. And so you're good at it. And I think like I'm playing catch up to that, where I'm like, I just want to be so kind to myself, but also like everything that happens that I may not like, I'm playing a huge role in that one way or another. It's like a percentage, or it's like a big percentage, or it's a small percent. But I got to like only focus on what I can control in the situation.
Yeah. Because you're not going to change what someone else can do.
No. And it's my life. I've been gifted a life. Yeah. If I've been gifted this beautiful thing, this big, beautiful opportunity to live, to do this, to feel things, to have breath work, to drink that water and like be with friends and marry and father children maybe one day, whatever. That's a beautiful gift. And I'm like pissing on it because I don't like what they did. It makes me feel I didn't get what they got, comparing, looking outside of myself. I got such a gift. I should be starting to take responsibility for that gift. And that's I think a trait. And some would say it's a masculine trait, you know, taking responsibility, putting yourself. But I think everyone should have that. A sense of responsibility for the gift you've been given and what you can do to lean in, fulfill,
embrace
this great gift you've gotten. Where are you shortchanging yourself? Yeah, you know, the working out, the eating, how you treat your friends, your family, like how you spend time, like you know. I can get better in these ways. I can't change you, and I can't change you. Yeah. If I I don't have no button to do that, and that's not my responsibility. But like, I can be an example of maybe something that can help you, and you know, I think that's the path you're on, and the group you've made, and so I'm just talking about responsibility for your life, taking ownership of your life. You can do anything. Yeah. You can do anything. So like.
Yeah, and realizing what you should not, you know.
What are you investing in that you shouldn't be investing in, dog? Like
100%.
You don't like something? What can you do?
And that goes back to our point about integrity being everything, right? Full circle.
That's right.
Ownership and responsibility is checking in with self and being like, yeah, I'm in integrity with myself, and that's not something I should be taking responsibility for. Right. Because sometimes taking responsibility can also be a block. A limiting belief. I get caught in that all the time where I feel like I have to take responsibility for other people. Yeah. And then because they're not willing to receive my gift because it's not my job to give it to them at that point, or they don't need it. They need to be in their own experience. I then feel some type of way, feel rejection, or feel like my gifts ain't worthy. And that drains me. So the shift I made is looking for individuals that resonate with my vibe. I feel it. I check with my integrity. And if they need be, we get to share and exchange our gifts, where I give them a hand, they're willing to take it. Right. We get to rise quicker, faster, and it creates like an infinity loop of energy exchange. Because if you notice, if you ever try to like give so much to somebody and they just don't want to change, they don't want to take it, it starts to drain us.
For sure. For sure.
Right now, think about a homie or a friend that comes up and he asks you for advice, and then you're like, yo, bro, read this book. And he comes back a week later and he read it. You're kind of like, damn, he read that shit. Like, yo, he's about it. Yo, what else you need? Let me give you this. And he does that too. It's like, yo, right? It gets you lit.
Right.
And that's the type of people I love being around, that have growth as their value, and they seek it and receive support and also give it. Right. And that's brotherhood.
For sure, man. Do you think it's interesting you say that, like the struggle of where you're feeling you're drained is like, I'm putting out this effort, this hand, and it's not being met, right? With not everybody. Some people are, and you're catching your integrity or checking with your integrity and saying it lines up with this person. I don't know why. I'm like, this is just a check-in, not pressing, just checking in. But like, do you think, is there a part of you that like can grow in maybe like, because there's a teacher who taught me, like, you know, our boxing teacher is like, you know, there's times where I know the answer to the question. I can see it right away. You know, I know it's this thing. Keep pivoting. I'm not supposed to stay here. And I tell them that, and they don't do it right away, right? They do it. They go through this one round, and they keep losing it. And I try to correct it a few times. And by the end of the day, I didn't say it every single time. I didn't but it didn't drain me. Like, I was like, how do you teach? You have to have such patience to teach, because even in acting, like people go into their heads and just faking emotion and pushing. How do you stay like calm as a teacher when you have all the answers? You know it's going to change the person. And my teacher told me, like, you just have to sometimes allow, and this is his truth, allow people to fuck up and be a mirror, right? Like, hold it up and say, how'd that feel? How'd that feel? That was always the question after class, or after your scene. How'd that feel? And it wasn't like, you did this wrong, this, this. You'd be sitting there like, you know, didn't feel good. Like, I don't know why. It didn't feel good. Okay. What'd you do? Going back to fact. What did you do? Okay. You did these 3 things. What didn't you do? Maybe. This. Go work on that. Come back next week. Let's see how it goes. And it's this cool, like, it's hard, but it's a cool, like, allowing a person to find it themselves.
Yeah.
Where it like clicks in their body. And I've seen it. And it's like, it's a beautiful thing where you can't drag the horse to water. You can drag the horse where you can't make him drink, right? That's how, that's the motto. That's the saying. But like, yeah, I'm just saying it because it reminded me of what you were just, it like sparked up in my mind when you were saying, like, it's hard sometimes when I feel like I'm giving that hand and it's not being met. And
yeah, and I appreciate you sharing that, bro. I definitely resonate with your point, and I'm aligned with that as well.
Yeah.
To my point, what I'd like to add is it just depends on, you know, where you are in that stage of the relationship, 1.
Right.
2, what I'm hearing and what your coach did, a part of that is providing accountability. That's all it is.
Accountability.
And without a doubt, you want to offer somebody a space to fuck up, because a lot of the times people try to go in and save, and you rob that person of their experience, and they sometimes need to fucking feel the pain. They gotta get dirty. They gotta be in their mess, right? So they can go through it, understand it, feel the richness, the duality of life. So without a doubt, I think as a man, for me, service and giving is my natural state. So I give to everybody when I can. It's just like, that is the mode I constantly strive to be in.
Right.
However, there's a certain threshold and a standard that I have that if I constantly give and you're not receiving it from a place of like, I'm here willing to get this so I can support myself and grow, then I don't want to spend my time focusing on somebody who's not ready in that journey. I rather bring that energy and support one man who I can say, do this one thing, or let me support you, and his whole life changes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there is definitely a mode and a role that we get to step into. Is like, am I the student right now, the teacher, the guide, the teacher, like you said? And we get to test. And if somebody's just not taking or not receiving, I don't want to say taking, receiving my gift, and that's okay.
Shift it. Shift the gift.
That's it.
Yeah.
Shift it over and offer it to somebody
Straight
who's
up.
willing to receive it.
Because not everyone's going to fuck with it.
Yeah.
Just like you have students in class.
That's
you can
right.
tell a guy, it's like, go do your homework. And you're like, all right, come back in 2 weeks. And he doesn't do it. And then you do it again and again and again and again. And it's like, all right, bro, like,
It's not for you.
it's not for you.
Yeah.
You know, this ain't
It's like
your
an
class.
ecosystem. It's like the things that will survive in it are supposed to survive in it. And the things, the beings that won't.
And it's
not meant for them.
And it's not rejection to that person. It's
not an
redirection.
ecosystem. That's right. No. Right. I'm not. I hope I'm not sounding
No.
like
That
that.
was, you were saying it like that. That was just my own story.
100%.
Perception.
And your time is valuable, and like your energy is valuable, and you have a threshold. You're one human being, no matter how well off we are.
Yeah.
We have we're one life force that does get tired at the end of the day and needs to rest. And like, if you're giving out all this energy, you got to make sure it lands.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want it to go into the ether and not be received. For sure, I hear you.
And I got a question for you guys if you're open to it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Please.
Yeah, I like to take this another route.
Yeah.
So to me, questions are the answers,
Love that.
right? And I feel like questions, asking powerful questions, gives me back powerful answers. So I was asked this question one time on a podcast, and it really made me think about life and just reflect. And the question that I was asked was, imagine you're on your deathbed and you're laying there on the bed, you know, about to transition to wherever you go. And the nurse walks in and she says, hey, here's a piece of paper. I want you to write down 3 lessons or 3 insights that you want to leave for the generation behind you. What 3 things would you leave behind? To teach, to support, however you want to position that. So take a moment, but not too long. This isn't,
I'll go first.
an essay. Yeah.
Hit it.
Be present.
Love
You
it.
are here, podcast.
You're here, bro. Like and subscribe.
Learn to love who you are. And learn to be who you are.
See, I mean, you
Those
took
are the hardest
the
things.
3 best ones.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Good
dude.
luck. So first you did the jab and then the cross.
Jab, cross, uppercut, left hook.
Don't forget your gloves.
Definitely lead with your heart, I would say. Because I think that people don't, because they're afraid to get hurt, afraid to be wounded. But like, that's life, and you're going to get wounded. And it's a beautiful thing. Wounds are beautiful. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning that the more older I get. I used to be afraid of scars and having scars. Now it's who I am. And I accept that. That's life.
It's cool.
That's life. You got to accept you're going to get hurt in it. So I would say like love fully and as honestly as you can. You know, find your heart and love big. And then I would say be kind. I would say be kind. Not like weak, not like everyone's so sweet and there's nothing. But kindness is like so underrated, dude. Kindness is like such a throwaway, I feel like.
I think it's, you know what? Kindness, I think, is turned into, we say this all the time, the compassion.
Yes.
Kind of like that goes like together, man.
It's a thing where
Every single person that walks in, every person that shows up, pops up when you're pissed, when you're happy, when you're whatever, you know?
but you always feel better when you're kind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you see it land, like you're talking about landing, when you see kindness land, it's like, it feels like I did it, something that my DNA was coded for me to do. I did it. And I get this washover of the day wasn't wasted. Like a little dose of like day wasn't wasted.
A pat on the back.
So I'd say be kind, love big, and just fucking don't be afraid to fuck up. Don't be afraid to fuck up. Go fuck up. That's what I'd say. Go get lost. Go try new things. Go travel and lose your money and do it all. Yeah. But like, don't hurt other people. But you know what I'm saying? Like try shit and fuck up and grow. But that's how you grow. Mm-hmm. That's how the seed grows. Seed destroys itself and then it grows. Some seeds. You know what I'm saying? You have to. Mm-hmm. You have to. You make a mistake. That's always what I regret about my youth is I didn't push boundaries. I didn't try new shit. I didn't fuck up. I was always trying to, and that's my past and why I was raised a certain way, and I was afraid of losing things and needed love and everything to stay the same, because my shit's all over the fucking place. So I wish I did that more. I'm also glad I didn't. I didn't get in much trouble. I don't have a record. Like, I got around a lot of things. But I'd say cautiously fuck up. Yeah. Yeah, but grow.
I love it.
Yeah. Embrace the fuck.
Yeah. That's right. What about you? 3 things.
Well, those are great answers, by the way.
Great question.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys sharing.
Thanks.
Definitely lands for me every part.
Sweet. Thank you, man.
So I appreciate that. Yeah.
We appreciate you coming and listening and saying that.
Yeah.
I appreciate how you take a moment to look us in the eyes and thank us for what you're doing.
Yeah, I see you guys.
Yeah.
And that shit lands.
I feel it.
That shit lands.
Right on.
Yeah, man. 3 things for me. Breathe. Learn how to breathe, number 1, without a doubt. Again, control your breath, control your life. Second one, I would say love deeply and lead with an open heart, without a doubt. Really, really lean into love, no matter how uncomfortable or how blissful. Embrace it all. And then the last one, third thing, and this is a big one for me. It's supposed to be fun.
It's supposed to be fun.
It's supposed to be fun. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy the journey, embrace it, and really just remember to fucking have fun, man. Like sometimes
it's so funny. I was gonna ask you about like having fun. Honestly, I'm not even kidding.
Yeah,
man. I feel like sometimes even like being on purpose and intention with my mission, I get lost in that. Where I forget, like, wow, like I'm having fun.
Yeah,
like fuck, I get to have fun. Hang out with the homies and laugh on a podcast and like, just do corny shit if I want to. Just fucking have fun.
Yes.
So that's my third one, bro.
Love that one, dude. That's a good one.
That's a banger. I heard that from my mentor, Mark. He shared that with me and I was just like, wow, that speaks to just, I feel like my essence is joy.
Yeah.
And for me, like fun, that's a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Living out of that place, can you imagine? Every day he's fucking
just
trying to have fun. Yeah, come on.
You ever see fucking Saturday Night Fever when Travolta walks in like, that's how it feels.
Yeah, dude.
100%.
I want to take that everywhere.
Walking into Trader Joe's like that.
My teacher used to say, in acting class, people get all twisted up and scared. Everyone say, the teacher would say, who's ready to go? You ready? Who's ready to go? Who's going first? And the air would just, no one would breathe. Scared, prepared for a few days, and you got to do the scene. You don't know how you're going to do it. You're terrified. And it's you up there. You're scared. And she would say, don't be so precious. Why are you being so precious? It's called a play. You're supposed to just play. You're supposed to have fun. You're supposed to enjoy this. This is joy. This is a child incarnate just dancing up there.
Wow.
So enjoy it. Don't be so precious. And that's what it reminded me of.
That's beautiful, bro.
Yeah,
that lands. Wow. That one landed. Because I never thought of it in this kind of awareness. It's supposed to like a play. We're going to watch a play. It never registered as like play.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like fun.
That's right.
I'm just thinking about people on the stage.
Right.
This big thing.
Serious business.
Serious business.
Yeah.
And there's money behind it. Right?
But the heart of it, the people you're watching up there are really children on the playground.
Yeah.
It's really what it is.
Yeah, that's big, bro. That's a great reference.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna borrow that. I was gonna ask for permission first.
This is me pushing it over to you. Yes,
I'll give you credit, bro.
Take that.
Just want to ask for permission first.
Man, dude. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming out today, bro.
Yeah,
it's been a journey,
dude. It's been a total journey. I love just opening up and getting to know you more. And now I feel like I know you more. I feel like I know who you are more as a person. Also, like totally down with what you are. The service you're providing to other people. If anyone who's listening right now is interested in getting involved, how do they get in contact with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm on all social media. You can find me at VOY_official, Voy Official. prominently more on IG. And there you can visit our website at themrmofficial.com.
Okay.
Themrmofficial.com. That's the community. So you can find me, what I do, or tap into community.
There you have it, guys.
Links in the description. Scroll down.
Thank you for having me.
Anything you want to say, shout out, anything at all, anyone you want to talk about before we close out today?
Yeah, I just want to invite people listening to this podcast on that third point, because it landed really well for me. And as I shared it here, it looked like it landed for you as well. Yeah. So I see that it has pull. So I just want to remind anybody listening to this, give yourself permission to have fun. And give yourself permission to have fun. It's supposed to be fun. Embrace the journey. You don't have to let go of shit. Embrace it, honor it, take responsibility, and let's get this fucking growth.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's it, baby.
Episode 208, maybe?
208.
What do you got, Dave? Anything else?
Gosh, guys, you want to hang out with us on Twitch? You know where to go. Twitch.tv/You Were Here podcast. You hang with the boys. We'll have fun, right? That's always fun.
We'll play. We'll have fun.
Guys, is that okay? What's the other thing? AnytownActorsLab.com, guys. If you want to get interested, if you're interested in acting, you don't know where to go. You're in Milwaukee. You're listening right now. You're in upstate New York, and you're just on a farm somewhere. You don't know how to get started. We have online classes right now. You can get involved now. You can start to learn the basics, some tools, and you can learn from a very educated human being named Adam Louder. Check him out. Look him up. AnytownActorsLab.com. Also, Patreon.com. Guys, thank you. Thank you.
Supporters.
For supporting us.
Always. Best way to support us.
If you want to continue to do so, it's a couple bucks a month. And it goes a long way for the podcast to continue. We don't need it, but we appreciate it. So thank you. Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. 208.
That's love. My name's Mike. I'm signing out.
My name's Dave. I love y'all. Please be kind to yourselves. Please be kind to one another.
Voy checking out.
Bang.